Welcome back to another video. This morning we're doing something different than I had planned. I originally had planned to come out this morning and actually share, how I set up my 0-1 Mark II when I got it. Some of the changes I made, in the settings, for how I like to operate. That was the plan, and I changed it to late yesterday afternoon because as a surprise, I got my Leica Q back from Leica service. So I needed to take it out and see how it works. So here's the Leica Q, as you can see. And we're out here, on the side of a hill, out in the country here in northern Kentucky. Place I've been before. This barn over here, testing out the Leica Q, or we're going to test out the Leica Q. All right, as the sun comes up, the sun's over here to my right. You can see off here in the distance, maybe it'll show in the video camera. You can actually see how the sky off in the distance is pink, kind of lit up as the sun's coming up. But what we're going to do is we're going to test this thing out. I'm going to tell you about what they did to it. Take a couple images, and kind of enjoy this sunrise. So thanks for coming along, everybody. Let's take a few pictures. All right, so if you can remember, the last time, in a previous video, I shared, how I struggled with this in low light, in this particular camera in low light, and working in the dark and couldn't really figure out what to do. It's because I didn't know exactly how to use this thing, because it appears simple on the outside, but it isn't necessarily as simple. So what I've done a little differently here this morning than I did at that particular moment, because it's not as dark, by the way, here there's light. There was no light. All right, but regardless, I've set my ISO specifically at 100. All right, I've set my aperture at f11, and I'm letting the camera make the decision, based on the light, what kind of shutter speed to use. All right, and as of right this second, all right, we're looking at using those settings 1/10 of a second. All right, and light's kind of flat. There's not really any color or anything. The pond's frozen, but it at least should give me a decent image, all right, that I can be at least happy with. I wish it was better, surroundings, wish the light was a little better, wish everything was a little better, but it's not. All right, so here, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you kind of a little bit how this thing operates. Let me grab the camera there. All right, so the Leica Q is basic and simple. I don't can't remember if I showed this or not, but if you look here on the back of the camera, you've got basically play is so you can review an image. If you want to delete it, all right, there's a function button that you can program. All right, ISO, you push that and you can actually set your ISO. It'll pop up on the bottom of the screen, assuming I do this right. Hard to do, sorry for bouncing around while you're wearing gloves, but we'll try it again here, sorry. That's my menu button, so let's go up above that. And that's the last button. There we go, there's ISO. So you can just literally just scroll over to whatever you want to set it at. All right, and then it'll be set there. And then menu button, you get all your different options. All right, pretty simple. Now the other thing is, this is a fixed lens camera. So if you wanted to, all right, if you wanted to zoom in a little bit, it has some preset zooms, like 135, I think the other's 50. All right, there's a little button up here. You can touch it and see how it, basically inside the white box is what your image is going to look like. All right, kind of think this is what a rangefinder looks like. I've never shot one, but I'm assuming. All right, so that's at 35 as opposed to 28, and if you hit that button again, now it's at 50. And again, if you look through the viewfinder, you see the exact same thing. All right, but it gives you the ability, if you choose to actually crop all right, in camera. And you can just, take your images that way, or you can do it post-process. It really doesn't matter. The thing to remember with the Leica Q here is you've got a 24 megapixel sensor. So you're cropping, you can do it, but you're really cutting out your megapixels quite a bit. It's one of the negatives in having a lower megapixel sensor, as it reduces the amount you can crop. But the reality is, we shouldn't crop as much as we do. All right, I try to crop very little anymore, but I understand. Some like to really, like that big megapixel so they can crop in nice and tight. Which I've done that before too, so I completely understand it. All right, so let me put the camera back up over here. All right, let's talk a little bit about what was done to my Leica Q. What did they actually do to it? I sent it in. What was done? All right, so if you remember the story, when I got it, I tested it because these things are notorious, all right, for having dust in the sensor. I tested it, it had dust. I contacted Robert's Camera, who I got the camera from, and they wanted me to offer to return it. They offered to repair it. They also offered to compensate me if I sent it to Leica to have it cleaned. So I sent it into Leica. The lead time was supposed to be 13 to 14 weeks. Lo and behold, it was only about 8. All right, and they sent it back to me. So now, what did they do to it? First and most important thing is, I was really surprised by this. I asked them if they could check the shutter activations on it, because I was just curious, being as old as it is, how many times it had been shot. Came back as 7,319 actuations on a 10-year-old, 9 to 10-year-old camera. So, pretty pleased with that. All right, so then what did they do to it? I'd asked them to clean the dust off the sensor. Well, when they inspected it, they found dust on the sensor. They also found dust inside the lens. All right, so they cleaned the sensor, which I have tested it, and there's no dust on it, thank God. All right, the surprise is that they replaced the lens. I paid $400 to have the work done, and they replaced, the $4,000, $5,000 lens. So it's basically has a brand new lens on it. Now, why'd they do that? They didn't give me any real details, but I'm assuming they found either an imperfection in it or they found dirt and stuff inside the lens, because it was hard for me to tell where it was at. But they replaced it, which I think is fantastic. So I'm, really pleased with Leica's decision to do that. So basically here I've got a 9-year-old camera with a brand new 28 millimeter, lens on it. And it definitely functions a lot better, I will tell you that. Just adjusting things, switching into macro mode, autofocus versus, manual focus. I mean, all those things work even better than they did. They still work fine, but man, now they work just like it's brand new. The other thing they did was they replaced the leather, leatherette as they call it, cover on it. Don't know why, it looked good, but they replaced it anyway. So on top of that, they also went in and they reprogrammed it. Now, it says they put new software in it. I don't know if it's a new version of, firmware or what, but it certainly seems to work a little bit better and a little bit smoother. So from that standpoint, pretty damn pleased as well. It's I did not expect, for what I got, what I paid to get, the work that they've done. And on top of that, I got it more than a month earlier than I thought I was going to get it. So that's I'm pretty pleased with that. Now, the question is, do the images turn out? How's the lens function? That's really the test. And getting a little bit more light here. Nothing great, but we're starting to get a little bit more. So we'll see. See, now we're up to 1/20th of a second at f11. So that the light's definitely coming up. But we're going to take these images. I'll take them back home. I'll work on them a little bit. I won't do a lot to them, but I'll work on them, and then I will put them in here at the end of the video so you can see it and you can be the judge. So hopefully the next video when I get out, I'll be able to show you that some of the changes are I didn't make a lot of changes, but I made some changes to the settings when I got my own 1 Mark II when I first got it. So I'll show you some of that. Hopefully we'll get out and take a couple images that day as well. All right, that'll be next. One of the requests I had, or somebody sent in, was live composite. Could you test live composite? you know, show us how to use live composite. So I've personally not used live composite yet in the OM1 Mark II, but I'm going to do that. That'll probably be when it warms up. It's too damn cold to do it this time of year because I want to do it at night. I don't know if I want to. I don't think I'm going to do star trails. Probably go downtown into the city and do some street photography with, you know, something I can pick up there. But yeah, we'll do some live composite, but it'll be, you know, either late in the spring or early in the summer when we do that. All right, and then I guess the question again, you know, is there anything out there that you guys want, you haven't seen or would like to see, you know, with the OM1 Mark II or even the Leica Q if you want, you know, just, you know, let me know and I will, you know, try to figure out a way to do those things if I can, all right, as I have time to get out and, you know, take some images. You know, this is probably not the longest video, but I certainly don't want to rant forever. I just wanted to get out and test this thing in the real world and see how it did. Images will be hidden here at the end. You know, so thanks for coming along, everybody. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to help out the channel, I have signed up for, you know, buy me a coffee, if you know what that is. I mean, any little bit can help because I fully fund all this, you know, on my own. So any little bit, if you really enjoy the channel, if you wanted to pitch in, I greatly appreciate it. You know, share the videos, give me a thumbs up. You know, just appreciate each and every person out there that tunes in, and just want to say thanks for your time, everybody, and until the next video, stay safe.